If you're looking for a new handbag or you're just a handbag fan, today I want to share with you my top 5 most used bags this year, and then also talk about some of the dupes and alternatives of these bags that I love. Probably I get the most questions on YouTube and on Instagram about my handbags and asking whether I can do an updated review. Right at the start, these are probably the handbags that I've been using the most, and I am so happy with some of the dupes I've found for these bags, and we're going to go through and talk about them as well in today's video. There's really no doubt about it at all, but my most used handbag is the Loewe Puzzle bag. I've got it in the mini size as well as a small. This one I've had for over 2 years, and then this one is newer this year. The reason I like this bag, and the reason why I feel like a lot of people like this bag, is because of this puzzle design. It manages to be understated because there aren't any loud logos, but it also is just very interesting. One of the first things I think of when I think of the puzzle is the slouch. So if you like something very boxy structured, these are probably not going to be for you because they do slouch over time. What this softer, slouchier shape means for me is that it is a really perfect casual bag. On weekends, if you live a more casual lifestyle, these are definitely bags that really fit in with that more effortless vibe, whereas sometimes a super structured bag can look very polished. Loewe is definitely known for having really good leather quality, and I mean, I can feel it in the handle right now that the leather is just buttery soft. Throughout the bag, the leather is impeccable, and because these are both textured grain leather, I've never had a single scratch or mark anywhere on the bag, but I would expect that because it is grain leather. Let's do a little comparison now of these two bags. So obviously the mini one that I have is in this contrasting color palette, whereas this one is just light yellow. If I had to choose, I would say that this is more of a unique puzzle design because you can see the pieces more clearly, and then you've got the contrasting stitching, whereas this is a little bit more subtle and understated of a design. I like both, but if you made me choose, I would say this one is probably a little bit more unique. If we talk about size and we do a little comparison, the mini size fits all of my essentials. So I have the larger iPhone, I have the 12 Pro Max, and it will fit comfortably in this bag on a diagonal. It will then fit all of my other essentials, so for a daily bag, this is a very, very good size. The small bag to me is really more of a medium bag, and this one fits quite a lot more. Once all my daily essentials are in, I can definitely add a paperback book, probably do a very small water bottle, and this will be an ideal size if you're commuting to work or you just carry a bit more with you on the daily. Something I personally noticed about these two sizes is that this one is slightly easier to get into compared to this one. With the mini size, and especially because I've had this for longer, it's gotten softer, I find it quite easy to pop things in and take things out despite the concealed zipper. Whereas with the small size, I definitely noticed like having to pull it open a bit more to get to my things. It's got an additional pocket in the canvas lining. When you drop something into the bag, sometimes it will get caught into that pocket as opposed to going into the main section of the bag. It's not a big deal, but it's like a tiny little pet peeve. Another difference in feature is that you do have a zip on the back of this one. It doesn't fit my larger iPhone. I think it'll fit like a travel card or something like that, but not too much in my opinion. The final and biggest difference for me is the straps and how I would wear it. So a big con for the mini bag for a lot of people is that the strap is not adjustable, which means I have had to do like 2 little knots on either side to make it the perfect length for me. I have a friend who has this bag and she got a separate strap for it. The strap is so beautiful. So that's an alternative, but obviously you need to buy the accessory. So this is probably my biggest con for the mini bag. For the small size, you do have the adjustable strap and there are lots of different adjustments, so I've never had an issue with any of the lengths. In terms of how I wear these bags, mainly this is top handle crossbody, this is top handle shoulder bag, and that's a big difference in how I would wear and style these two bags. I just grabbed my phone because I want to talk about some of the alternatives and dupes of the puzzle bag. And what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a dupe is not for it to look exactly the same, but rather to have the same functionality, vibe, as the original bag. My favorite alternative to this bag is the Strathberry Mosaic bag. If you look at the design closely, it's almost got that puzzled look where you've got overlapping pieces of leather with a contrasting stitching, and that to me definitely draws similarities to the puzzle bag. The design is clean, it's simple, it's modern, and it does feel like a really good alternative. I reviewed the $1 Penelope bag not too long ago, and I feel like that one would also be a good dupe of the puzzle because it's got that color blocking effect that kind of reminds me of the puzzle pieces. It's got minimal hardware, minimal logos, a modern look, also reminiscent of the puzzle. Very quickly, if you want something more simple, more minimal, then there is this bag from Coach that I feel like it's similar because it has that more slouchy, relaxed shape. I'm talking about the Coach carry bag, and while this one doesn't have a lot of complicated design, it's got the same pebble leather, slouchy shape, and it can be worn in different ways, like the puzzle. This is perhaps stretching it a little bit far, but I also feel like the Palen #1 bag in this mini size is kind of similar in some ways. Even up close, I feel like the look of these two leathers are very similar. They're both quite textured in appearance. This has an understated design, minimal hardware, and because this bag is rounded, I think it has a softer, more casual feeling that's similar to what the slouch creates on this bag. While I'm not gonna say visually they look that similar, I feel like they have a similar functionality. And if you like this bag and you like the softness, the slouchiness, the minimal hardware, minimal logo, then chances are you might like this one too. Final thing about the puzzle that I cannot not mention is that I purchased both of these on sale. This one I purchased for 30% off 2 years ago on my Teresa. This bag I purchased earlier this year on Net-a-Porter for almost 40% off. The next bag I want to share is the Sezane Claude bag. This bag is fairly new, but I've not really taken it off since I have received it. So first up, it comes in a range of colors, but I chose it in this croc emboss material. I love adding texture to my outfits. I love anything textured really. So this was the obvious choice for me. The color of this bag is also stunning. It's a reddish brown color. I feel like it's a little bit warmer than a burgundy, so I feel like reddish brown. It's got some hardware at the front. You kind of press down on this and then the top opens. Once you're in the bag, you've got 3 compartments. I like this accordion divider style. I just love the idea of having these little pockets. I don't even put much inside, but it feels quite charming to have that in a handbag. I have a really bulky case, and with the case, I can't fit my 12 Pro Max at the back. I just tried really hard, and you can see that it does go in, but my case is so bulky, I don't want to push it down. And I also feel like this will stretch the back pocket, which I also don't really want to do. I don't have too much to say about leather quality because this one is croc embossed, and because of that, it has this coating over it, so you can't really tell the leather quality too much. The stitching and all of the details, they look very nice, so no complaints from me. This one is not really like a big flaw of this bag, just of all bags with hardware and with flat hardware. You will see scratches on this plate over time, and that's just something to be expected. There is no way around it. Because it's smooth and shiny, sometimes with the grease of our hands, you will also see some markings on it, but nothing that can't be wiped off or cleaned. I have a lot of bags I love, but the reason I've been reaching for this one often is because of the way it looks in an outfit. I love the fact that it's rounded, so it looks a little bit softer, but then it's combined with a structured shape. If you're going into autumn winter, the texture of this bag just makes any outfit so much more chic. Every time I wear my navy coat now, other bags just don't feel like it elevates it as much as this texture and bag does. If you've watched any of my bag review videos recently, you'll know how much the strap can sometimes irritate me, and I'm very happy to say that this strap is perfect. I don't say that very often. Straps often annoy me. First thing is that you don't have any dangling bits just flapping about. You don't have that issue here because it's got these snap buttons. Snap buttons all the way on the strap, so it makes it super quick and easy if you do want to adjust it. You just take the 2 sides, there's like 2 straps, and you can adjust the length. I tried to be as detailed as I could be, but if there is something else you want to know about this bag, just let me know in the comments. Okay, so onto alternatives and dupes for this bag. One of the first mentions that came to mind is the Charles & Keith Gabine saddle bag. I've seen people wear it in real life, I've seen this one in stores, and I do think that it's a very, very nice bag at a lower, slightly more affordable price point. In this category, I also want to talk about some popular alternatives like the APC Grace bag. I feel like that bag, especially in the textured versions, is a really good alternative to this bag. I think price point wise it's actually a bit more, but it is a more popular style that has been around for longer. And if there is something that you don't like about this bag, you can kind of check out that option. There's also the Demelia Vancouver bag. That bag is also nice. I don't like it as much, to be honest, and I talked about it in a recent review. So many good things, but the strap and the length of it is not right for me. With my handbags, I try to do this one in, one out kind of system. So if you see me with a new handbag, chances are something else left. One of the bags I recently sold on Vestiaire was my Bottega Veneta, the cassette bag in black. You'll see in my regrets video this year, it was not a good decision. But basically, I let go of that, and that's when I bought this one. I've gone back to Loewe for this bag, and I've gone for the Flamenco Mini. This one is in the color Sunrise Orange, and it's a pretty simple yet unique bag. This is a bag design that's been around since the 1970s, and overall, I would say it's a pretty simple construction. It's got a drawstring detail, one magnetic closure, it's got a pretty thin strap that you can either remove or keep on, obviously, and then basically just the one bucket style compartments. The main design elements is in this shape with the gathers here, and then these little cute tabs. And unlike the puzzle that is a lot more complicated and unique in the construction and design, this one is just very understated and simple. Even though it's quite simple, I can feel with my hands how buttery and smooth the leather is. It does feel really nice quality. There's honestly not a lot to say about this bag. I recommend this bag to anyone who likes very minimal, understated shapes. You don't like hardware, logos, and you don't like too much structure, then this is a bag that I think would work really well for you. Choosing this bag in a bright color was the best decision, and I feel like this shade just is so vibrant, it's so fun, and I've worn it with so many of my daily outfits, and I love the way that it looks. You will have seen me style this a lot in my recent videos, and it's really a bag that just makes the outfit. This bag has an adjustable strap, and it's got multiple settings, so you can wear it as a long shoulder or a short shoulder bag. You can wear it as a crossbody. You can fold it away to wear it as a clutch, which I also love. For evening or just to go out to dinner. Thought of a few more things. Sometimes once you cinch this bag up, it can sometimes slightly loosen. Not to the point where for me it's totally flat, but it might get to like this point. So it's not as cinched as it might have been at the start. This bag is mini. It won't fit too much, but it does fit everything I need it to, all my daily essentials. But I would say that if you put too many things in and it gets too heavy, this thinner strap starts to feel a little bit dainty, a little bit delicate. So I wouldn't carry anything like too heavy. And I think it works out okay because it's a pretty small bag, and not much more will fit in anyway. This one I'm really excited to dupe and talk about alternatives because I feel like there are a lot of really good ones out there for those of you who don't want to drop that much money on this kind of simple bag, which is 100% and totally understandable. I want to talk about one of my favorite Australian bag brands, and it's, I think, even though, you know what, I'm probably wrong, A.P.C. But they made these pouches. I have a larger one, but it also comes in the smaller sizes, which I think will be a good dupe for this one. It's got the gathers at the top, it's more slouchy, very simple construction, and then it comes with a thinner strap that can be adjusted. I've been looking at this Heru Luna bag for a while, and it's stunning with like the half circle shape, and it's got these two little drawstring details on the side. This Heru bag is also just very simple. It's got the same simple, clean, very understated design that's similar to this one. Another good dupe is this APC one. This one is not in leather, but it's got a very similar shape. This is a really good option, especially if you prefer not having a leather bag. And knowing APC, I feel like whatever they do, it will be high quality, which is my overall experience with the brand. I'm so happy with this dupe. I feel like it's so close, and the APC one just looks beautiful in itself. I could probably go on for forever, but the final one I want to talk about is the Manta Gabrielle bags. Whether you go for the original bucket bag, which has like a very understated minimal construction with a drawstring, or whether you go for their cloud bag, which is more similar in shape, or whether you even go for the lady bag, there are so many styles that have this similar vibe of having a very minimal construction, no zippers, minimal design. All three bags I've spoken about so far, I feel like have been more recent favorites. So maybe in the last 3 months, I've gotten the most use out of them. But now I want to talk about the 2 bags that maybe I haven't worn as much in these 3 months, but have been long-term, most worn favorites. The Mini Geneve is something that I just repeatedly use because I love the rounded, structured shape. And it kind of explains why I like the Claude bag so much. If I go for a structured bag, I usually like them slightly more rounded, just as a personal preference. Every time I talk about this bag, I say that I have the Mini, but I recommend the small. And that hasn't changed, just because while an iPhone 12 Pro Max fits in here, it's a little bit of a struggle. So go for the small. I think it looks really nice, fits more, there's no con to it. If I was to break it down and think about why I keep going back to this bag year after year, bags like this that have structure, they just go with a range of outfits, no matter how formal or casual it is. It doesn't feel too harsh with a casual outfit, and then kind of dresses up casual outfits as well. Of the bags I'm showing you today, this one is smooth leather. Everything else is pebbled or textured. This is smooth leather. And not only that, it's a smooth leather that scratches very easily. So I feel like every year I show this bag, it gets more scratches. If you get a bag of smooth leather, I feel like the high traffic areas are basically right under this flap because that's where my nail goes as I open the bag. As expected, I have quite a bit of scratching over here. This bag does come in Saffiano and calf leather options, so those will be much more scratch resistant. You're not going to see scratches nearly as much as this one, but at the same time you won't get that smooth leather look. So it's just a bit of a trade-off depending on what you like. Most of my bag dupes and alternatives are very similar to what I said for the Sezane one. So the only thing I'll really add is that if you like Coach and you like the tabby bags, I came across this one which I thought was a nice alternative. If you like this bag but you feel like you want something that has a little bit more detail, this one is too understated, then I feel like the Coach tabby is a good one because you've got the logo and then you've got the braiding design, which I think is very feminine and adds a nice little accent. This one comes in different colors, but I feel like the Coach tabby comes in brighter, fun colors as opposed to some of the more neutral tones that APC does. Final bag I'm talking about in today's video is the Acne Studios Musubi bag. One of the bags that I feel like is the most special in my collection, I've had for longest, and also I still get the most questions about overall. With this bag, I used to use it a ton when I was working in an office because I loved how much it would fit. It would fit my keep cup, it would fit all my daily essentials. But nowadays, because I don't commute, I really find this bag a little bit too big for what I need on a daily basis. But I still feel like this is one of my favorite bags, and if I was to combine things all up, probably one of my most worn, given how much I used to use it. For the design of this bag, I've commented every year that I think the design is perfection. You can go back to my old videos, I'm gonna say the same thing. I feel like it's very smart that the adjustment is concealed by this flap. It just looks so clean. Logo is simple and there's one snap button. This bag has a fairly large base and I feel like that's one of the reasons why it fits so much. And then it kind of tapers up, so at about this point, you kind of have to stop filling things up if you want it to close properly. It's got compartments on the inside, so 2 compartments on either side, and then 1 zip pocket in the middle. Leather quality on this is very good, very durable. I've had it all these years and not a single mark because it is that grained leather. The only area where I feel like my opinion has changed is to do with the strap. I used to not mind this bigger strap. I used to not even think about it. Whereas nowadays, I do prefer maybe a slightly smaller proportion because of what I wear. As I wear a lot of more oversized things, sometimes I just need that more dainty element in the handbag. Whereas this is quite chunky if I wanted to pair it with something oversized for my outfit. The reason why I want to talk about this bag today is because I actually have with me right now the wallet size. So one of the biggest cons for this bag over the years has been for me that the size is kind of misleading. This is the mini and it's definitely more of a medium bag, and the smaller one is too small. It doesn't fit my phone. So this I feel like would be a really happy medium if I want to fit my phone in a very mini style bag. I currently have this bag because I was doing a little Instagram shoot with Net-a-Porter and I featured this bag. But I'm not keeping it because I obviously have this one. If you love the design of this bag and you want something smaller, I feel like this is a really good alternative because it does fit my phone, and then on top of the phone it will fit my keys, maybe a couple of cards. It will fit the bare essentials. I feel like visually I still prefer the look of this one because the sashes are on the side rather than having this sash at the front. But I kind of prefer the way this looks in an outfit. I love the size of it and the fact that it's mini. But I thought I'll just share with you this new alternative while I had it in today's video. There are again some really good alternatives here. There is this bag from Arquette. It's a leather crossbody bag and I feel like it's such a good dupe for the Acne Studios bag. I have seen Jamie or Mademoiselle here on YouTube wear this bag. The last time we hung out, she was using this bag. It was really beautiful on her, and I feel like it is such a good dupe of this Acne Studios bag. It's even got a little detail on the side, and I feel like this bag is such a good dupe without being too similar. The strap on that bag is still substantial, but it's not as thick as the Musubi bag. So if you like the strap is too thick, then I feel like the Arcat one is a really good alternative. The other dupe I have is this bag from Flattered. This one is similar, and I think it just has such a clean, beautiful design. Both the Arcat bag and the Flattered bag I think looks really beautiful. If I had to choose, I would choose the Flattered, because I think the design is a bit more simple. It looks really, really clean. And because of that, to me, it looks a bit more expensive and luxurious as a whole. Both very similar, and if you're interested in any of them, I will link them down below if you'd like to check it out. If you enjoyed today's video and enjoyed seeing the dupes, I recently made 2 handbag videos talking about mid-range luxury bags and doing a bit of a comparison. So I'll pop them on the screen here and I'll link them down below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.